Hey, Nate. Yo, Nate. That was me, y'all, when you get a chance. You submitted? You submitted that letter? You submitted that letter? Okay. $25. Yo, these your shoes, Nate? These your shoes? We live. We just waiting on the sofa. So we just waiting on the sofa. Hallelujah.
Hey, we was waiting on that.
I'm working on it.
No doubt. Everybody stand up, please. I just told him we appreciate it. Hey,
you wasn't here last week. Sorry, you wasn't here last week. You could say you ain't hear Martin. That's because Martin was up there making the noises.
The Martin was on order last week.
Oh my God.
Martin,
Man, you talking about hilarious.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hallelujah. About to pray in. For everybody that don't know, the reason why we're facing this way is because we're facing the east towards the land of the Most High. If you need some scriptural references to that, we can get into that after the lesson today. Are all minds clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is Devarim, or Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. Shema Yisrael,
Shema Yisrael.
Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. This is Exodus, or Shavuot, chapter 20 and verse 3. We will have no other mighty ones.
We will have no other mighty ones.
Against the Most High.
Against the Most High.
We will not make any carved image.
We will not make any carved image.
Or any likeness.
Or any likeness.
Of that which is in Shamayim above.
That which is in Shamayim above.
Or which is in the earth beneath.
Or which is in the earth beneath.
Or which is in the waters under the earth.
Or which is in the waters under the earth.
We will not bow down to them.
We will not bow down to them.
Nor serve them.
Nor serve them.
Yahuwah El
Yahuwah
is a jealous El,
El.
visiting the wicked
Visiting the wicked.
of the fathers on the children,
Of the fathers of the children.
to the third and fourth generation
To the third and fourth generation.
of those that hate him,
Those that hate him.
and showing kindness
Showing kindness.
to thousands of those
Thousands of those
who love him
who love him.
and keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments.
We will not bring the name
We will not bring the
of
name
Yahuwah El
of Yahuwah
to nothing,
to nothing.
for Yahuwah
For Yahuwah
will not leave us unpunished,
will not leave us unpunished.
who brings his name to nothing.
Who brings his name to nothing.
We will remember the Shabbat day
We will remember the Shabbat
and keep it Kodesh.
to keep it okay.
6 days we will labor
6 days we will labor.
and do all our work.
And do all our work.
But the seventh day
But the seventh day
is the Shabbat.
is the Shabbat.
Yahuwah our Elohim.
Yahuwah Elohim.
For in 6 days
For in 6 days
Yahuwah made Shamayim
Yahuwah made Shamayim
and the earth
and the earth
and the sea
and the sea
and all that is in them.
and all that is in them.
And the rest of the seventh day,
And the rest of the seventh day.
therefore Yahuwah Barak the Shabbat day.
Therefore Yahuwah brought the Shabbat day.
We will respect our fathers
We will respect our fathers
and our mothers,
and our
so that our days are long
mothers
upon the earth.
on the earth.
We will not murder.
We will not murder.
We will not commit adultery.
We will not commit adultery.
We will not steal.
We will not steal.
We will not bear false witness
We will not bear false witness
against our neighbor.
against our neighbor.
We will not covet
We will not covet
anything
anything
that is our neighbor.
that is our neighbor.
Father, y'all, we give thanks for this day, Father, a day to gather together, Father, your set-apart day, Father, which you deem hallowed, Father, and Kodesh. We thank you for this day, Father, a day to gather together, Father, on one accord, Father, to hear your word, Father, to be diligent unto your word, Father, a day to be set apart from the world, Father. We pray that your word will proceed forth, Father, without obstacle or hindrance, that it be received with gladness and thanksgiving, that when the praises go up, Father, that you would open your ear and incline your ears into our words, Father, that we would be mindful, Father, to give you the esteem, Father, and the honor. Father, all these things we pray and we give thanks. By Shem Yehuwah, B'Kah Yehoshua, Mashiach, Barak HaKodesh, so be it.
So be it.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Y'all ready for some praise and worship?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody, real quick. Can y'all, on the count of three, can we just say we appreciate you to Brother Larry for how hard it was last week without him? 1, 2, 3. We appreciate you.
Don't be leaving no more. We have Bobby McFerrin.
Anybody had a great week this week? All right. Anybody have a trying week? Okay. All right. But through it all, you still say hallelujah. Through it all, still giving praise. The song says, glorify. Glorify. we do here, we want everybody to get into the praise and worship. He's been good to you. Don't be afraid to lift your hands. Say hallelujah. No doubt, y'all. Because he's worthy. And everybody just lift your hands and say, we glorify you, Yah. Come on, everybody. Come on, Israel. Lift those hands. Say, we glorify you, Yah. Yeah. Every day we have to go. Every moment of the day. Come on, bigger than your situation. Magnify your pain. Magnify it. Oh, magnify it. Come on, everybody, glorify, say it. Come on, let's glorify your name. Glorify your name. Good situation. We glorify his name.
Yes.
Pocket full of money. I glorify your name. But I don't have no money. Glorify your name. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I know it's the verse, but I want everybody to sing. Ready? Here we go. Let my fears on the side of the road. Hear you speak. I won't let go. Fall to my knees and I lift my hands and pray. Yeah. Pause. 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 As I lift my hands and pray. Let's do that.
Hallelujah.
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 All right. From the top, here we go. Let my fear inside of the road. Hear you speak. I won't let go. I'm fall to my knees as I lift my hands and pray. God, every week to be here again. Father's love that draws me in. All my eyes want to see is the glance of you. That's what we need. All I need is you. Yeah. All I need is you. All I need is you. Yeah. Is you. Yeah. All I need is you. All I need is you, yeah. Is you, yeah. Come on, everybody, one more day. One more day and it's time to say the Ruach of my heart to sing. God, you're the voice of a Mashiach once again. Yeah. Set my soul without a sun. He gave his life to save the earth. I rest in the thought that you're watching over me. All I need is you. All I need is you. Yeah. All I need is you. Yeah. Yeah. All I need is you. Can't make it without you, yeah. All I need is you. Yeah. All I need is you. 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 Yeah. All I need is you. All I need, come on, come on. All I need is, all I need is, all I need is you, yeah. All I need is you. I need is you. All I need is all I need is you. I need to know that God is you. All I need is all I need is you. All I need is you. All I need is you. Nobody else is you. Can't fix it. All I need is you. Oh, all I need is you. Come on, man. The universe, you are everyone on earth, you are the universe, you are. There you are. Come on, everybody. Oh, you are the universe, the universe. All I need is you. All I need is you. All I need is you. Yes, I do. Oh, all I need is you. Sometimes you got to call on. All I need is you. You got to fix it. All I need. All I need, all I need, all I need is you. Everything is you. All I need is you.
Somebody in here leaning on people, things.
All I need is you.
Like it's all right, all we need is the Most High. You find your joy in the Most High. Not in stuff. That's what you say, yeah. Lead to the Most High. Come walk with him. All I need is you. All I need is you. Somebody you love. All I need is you. All I need is you.
Situations, all I need is God. I acknowledge you right now, Most God. In every good situation, bad situation, when the children are acting up, when the husband is acting up, when the wives are acting up, when the job is acting up, when the drivers are acting up. All I need is you, Yah. I acknowledge you and I invite you into every part of my life. Take over, take control, take over. Yes. You hold everyone on earth. You hold the universe. You hold all I need is you. There's a uniqueness going on right now. You want to stop, but you don't want to stop. Yeah. Yeah. All of me. Oh, all of me. All I need is all I need is all I need is all I need is He can fix it. He can do anything. He can change anything around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All I need, all I need, yeah. All I need is
This next song is gonna be like it's like our gift to the chosen seed, right? Y'all haven't heard this song, so you probably have heard it. I didn't hear it before, and I was increased by it. So hopefully, y'all are being increased by it too. Yeah, but we was told not to tell you that we was gonna do this.
But
But you got it on the board.
We got it on the board.
We got it on the board.
We said we're gonna surprise. Come.
All right, we're gonna give it a try. Beautiful song. Here we go. You thought I was worth saving. You came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping. So you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for. So you came and changed my life. So I can be free. So I can be whole. So I can tell everyone I know.
You thought I was saving.
So you came.
You came and changed my life.
You
You thought I
did.
was forgiven.
So you cleaned me up inside.
You cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for.
Y'all sacrifice.
You sacrificed your
So
life.
I can be clean.
So I can be
I
free.
can be.
So I can be
I
right.
can tell everyone. Come on, everybody. Say, you thought I was worth saving. Yes, it is.
You came and changed my life.
You know.
You thought I was worth keeping.
So you clean me up
But
inside.
you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for.
You sacrifice.
You sacrificed your
So
life.
I can be.
So I can be
I can
free.
be
So
whole.
I can be
I
whole.
can tell everyone I know.
Everyone I know.
You thought I was worth.
Saving.
So you came.
You came and changed my life.
You know.
You thought I was worth keeping.
So you cleaned me up
You
inside.
cleaned me up inside.
Yes, you
You
did.
thought I was to die
So
for.
y'all sacrificed your life.
Sacrifice your
So
life.
I can be
So
free.
I can be
I can be whole.
free.
I can tell.
I can tell everyone I know.
Oh, hallelujah. Say glory.
Glory.
So I won't change my life.
I'll take my life
Woo. And I will praise you. I'll worship you.
forever,
Give you the glory.
forever,
Because I am free. Yeah.
because I am Lord. And I will tell everyone I know.
Come on, everybody. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Glory.
So I won't change my life. Come on, second time. And I will praise you. I worship you. Give you the glory. Give you the praise. But you died for me. And you rose for me. Forever and ever. Because I am free. Because I am whole. And I will tell everyone I know. You thought I was worth saving. So you came and changed my life. You thought I was worth living. Yes, you did. So you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You thought I was to die for. So glad you lost me. You thought I was to die for. You thought I was to die for. But you sacrificed your life so we can be free. thought you was worth it. He thought you was worth it. That's why he's bringing you. He said, she belongs to me. He belongs to me. Yes, he did. So I can be free. I can be whole. I can tell. You thought I was worth saving. You came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping. Well, you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for. You sacrificed your life for me, for Mama, for Quab, for Travis, for Greg, for God. Woo, he did it. He did it for you. He did it for me. You sacrificed your life so we can be free. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
They pulled out his beard. They spit on it. They crucified him to some dead wood. He said, no man takes my life. I'm going to give it. You don't have the power to take my life. You don't have the right to take my life, but I'm going to give it. Because I know what Perry needs. Yeah, I know what Canaan needs. So I'm going to do this because I love Israel that much. I'm going to be away from my father to come help y'all. Who's going to dog me again and again. I'm going to have to get rid of him to do it over again. They going to dog me. But guess what? I still love you. I still sacrifice myself. He said he gave himself. He thought you was worth it. Quab heard this song and I had sang it before. And he gets into the words. Just like I do. I just ain't admitted it, but his words mean everything. He thought I was worth it. Oh, filthy Johnny. Thought I was worth it. I ain't worth nothing. No, I think you're worth it. Because you belong to me.
Anybody got a testimony? Lord, Lord, Lord. Did he bring you out of something? Let us get you the mic. Let us get you the mic. Let us get you the mic. We want to hear you.
I just want to piggyback on that back. I know she's on the board. I don't know what her real name is. But she testified on the board about when you step out on y'all. They tried to make her walk on the Sabbath. And what she did is she called in and she put in a letter to the EOC, whatever the name of the people. But they still trying to deny her. He's trying to make her work on Sabbath. But I want to tell people, if you trust God, I ain't just Because the thoughts of man take us nowhere but in the pit of hell. But if we trust in the authority of God, it might not work out right then, but I guarantee you, it's going to work out in your good. I'm going to yesterday. On yesterday, right now, I need a job. I went and applied for a job. They called me for an interview, and they told me when I got an interview, they need me to work up some money. I need the money. I need the money. But I told them I can work every day but the Shabbat. I didn't get the job, and I believe that I didn't get the job is because I couldn't work upstairs. But I know God will supply my needs. I don't want the devil. I feel like I need a job, but I know God got my back. So I'm asking you, if you want any situation, anything, nothing too hard for God. Whatever you need, He will supply your needs. Under that.
It's real. This is real. We go through things sometimes looking at a person you don't know. But we family, I'm gonna put my business out there. I'm under attack. My marriage is under attack. I'm gonna fight for my marriage. Sometimes you see me working and doing this and doing that, covering up. The enemy, Satan, don't care who he attacks. It's like a lion trying to see who he can get. I'm strong, but I know I'm amongst power, I'm amongst family. He died for this. So I'm all right. We're going to be all right. Finish. Hallelujah.
Y'all ready for some word? Yeah. Y'all ready for some word? Hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Bring him to the stage. The next dynamic speaker. He stands a whopping 6'4" inches tall. He hails from by way of Detroit, Michigan. We give you the 6'4" giant Brandon Dawson.
Brother.
Please, everybody, mute your phones, mute your phones, mute your phones. Don't ruin the movie by adding your own soundtrack.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Man, that was some powerful and dynamic stuff right there. I'm telling you. The people of the Most High get together and get to talking about the power of the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Man, that's something to witness right there. something to witness. And I just want to say, praise the Most High. For everybody that had a testimony, that has a testimony, and that just don't want to step out there and say it, because we all got a testimony. The Most High been working on all of our behalf. And right what Sister Wanda said, as long as you believe that He gonna work for you, regardless, things gonna work out in your favor. You got to stand strong on that and believe that with all your heart. And I believe that with all of my heart. Like I said, we all got a testimony. Everybody going through something, and just like everybody else, I'm going through some things. And I believe that everything that's happening is the Most High will, because it's working out favorably. So praise the Most High. So before we dive into the word, I just want to acknowledge any first-time visitors. First time keeping Shabbat with us, if you don't mind standing and introducing yourself. First time. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Greetings, my brother.
Shabbat shalom.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
What's your name, brother? Brother Nate? Brother? Hey. Welcome, brother. Glad you can make it out. Welcome anytime, every time, all the time. We here. You know where we at now. You know where we at now, so anytime you want to come, we definitely try to make sure that we stand on the truth of the word. We bring forth the word as it is written. Now, adding our own spin on it. The answers come from the scriptures. But we just want to say welcome. I want to say welcome on behalf of everybody else, on behalf of the family. And just let you know you are amongst family. If you need anything, you have any questions, just ask it. We here. I'm Brandon, by the way. So let me ask y'all this: with all the recent lessons that we had, right? So we had the self-mastery lesson, the lesson on self-loathing, pursuit of happiness, hateful Israel, grief, perfect peace, the burnout, and what they all are rooted and tied to, pride. With all of those lessons, what do y'all think about those lessons? What do you think the purpose of those lessons are for? Perfect. Like I said, reflection on oneself. Absolutely perfect. Like I seen a post that my aunt put up earlier this week where we was talking about, of course, the infamous Esau doctrine. Then you got the Babylon doctrine. Then you got this doctrine, that doctrine. And all of those things are well and good. But if you don't know how to reflect on yourself to clean up what you know, your vessel, what you need to do to clean up your vessel, it's purposeless. It's purposeless. You can know this book, like we talked about before, about knowledge being power. You can know this book, but if you don't apply it, it's useless. Absolutely useless. So the purpose, let's grab Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. We get into the just the purpose of of these lessons, because I don't know about y'all, but I have gained so much insight into myself behind these lessons, like a ton, and it's helping me. Like all of these different lessons about the different components of yourself is helping me master myself to the point where I'm able to guard and protect myself based on the understanding that we're getting from these scriptures. And if you haven't been here in attendance to witness these lessons, or you haven't seen the stream to see these lessons, I implore you, go back and watch. And if it's something you don't understand, shoot an email or rewatch or whatever you got to do. This is crucial that you get this stuff in your ruach and begin to apply these principles to your life. Let's what did I say? Psalms 19:7.
Psalms of Telaim, chapter 19 and verse 7. The law,
The what?
The law.
So we understand that all of the lessons that's been going forth is rooted in the law. That's what everything stems from. Is what?
The law of Yahuwah is perfect, converting the soul.
Doing what?
Converting the soul.
Converting the soul. So all of these different principles and all of these different lessons that's going forth is rooted in the law for the purpose of converting the soul. So if you see yourself, if you're reflecting on yourself and you see yourself in these lessons on the opposite side of what the word is speaking on, and you reflect on yourself and you understand there's some things in me that I need to change. Converting the soul, right? Go ahead.
The testimony of Yahuwah is sure, making wise the simple.
Like Johnny was just saying, he died for us, little old me, and I ain't nothing. Making wise the simple. That's what the law is doing. So as we are dealing with these lessons in the law, and like we talked about falling into diverse temptations, and that's where wisdom comes from, is when you fall into those diverse temptations and you're able to gain wisdom. Our simple selves are able to gain wisdom and apply it in our life based on these principles that we are applying going forward. That's the whole purpose and the whole point. I want everybody to just make sure that you understand that, because otherwise it's no use. You're just coming here to be here. You know what I mean? Grab James chapter 1 and verse 4.
James 1 and 4. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
So that perfect and entire, that perfect, we know it's not meaning flawless, but it means complete. That's what entire is. When somebody say, when you go to purchase, let's say you go to purchase a set of dishes, and you say, well, what comes in the set? And it comes with this and that and that and that. It's an entire set. It's complete. You're gonna have cups and plates and saucers and everything. It's an entire. So that's what entire means. It's complete, right? Wanting nothing, or in the Hallelujah it says lacking in nothing. So when you are entire or complete, understanding that the law is converting the soul and allowing patience to complete you, right? Have his perfect work in there so that you are complete. So we've touched on so many different principles, right? Today I want to deal with another one. I want to talk about anger. So question number 1, what is anger? Just an emotion, perfect. It's like meant to happen, right? It's a perfect answer. It's an emotion. So the question is, where do we get these emotions? Where do they come from? From the flesh?
Yah.
From Yah? Anybody else? You said from Yah? You said from flesh? You say where? Within? So you say flesh? Let's grab Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27. Let's see where our emotions, understanding that anger is an emotion. So we're just gonna deal with anger. The anger is an emotion, and let's see where these emotions come from.
Genesis of Bereshit chapter 1 and verse 27. So Elohim created man in his own image, and the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them.
Genesis 2 and 7. So understanding that the Most High created us in his own image, right? We all understand that, right? Go ahead. After he formed, go ahead.
Bereshit chapter 2 verse 7. And Yahuwah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils.
And did what?
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
So that breath of life was what? His own ruach, right? And then what happened?
And man became a living soul.
So that flesh started to walk. I'm sorry, that dust that you was formed out of began to walk around and make decisions and actions and determinations based on the ruach that was blown into it, right? So let's grab Exodus chapter 1. I'm sorry, Exodus 4 and verse 1. And we're gonna see a few things. Because it's the Most High doesn't have flesh, right? He's what? Right? Okay.
Exodus or Shemot chapter 4, verse 1. And Moshe answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor listen to my voice.
So this is when the Most High is telling Moses to go down into Egypt and holler at Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go, right? Go ahead.
But they will say, Yahuwah hath not appeared unto you. And Yahuwah said unto him, what is that in your hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moshe fled from before it. So that's how you know he's black. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, put forth your hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand, that they may believe that Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, the Elohim of Jacob, have appeared unto you.
So the Most High allowed Moses to do these miracles so that the people would believe that Moses was sent from him, right? Go ahead.
And Yahuwah said, furthermore unto him, put now your hand into your bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
And this, they didn't show you in the Charles Testament 10 Commandments, this part, right? Go ahead.
And he said, put your hand into your bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe you, neither listen to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign.
So if they don't believe you, when you say it, then show them the first sign with the serpent. If they don't believe the first sign, then they're going to believe the second sign, right? Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither listen unto your voice, that you shall take of the water of the river, pour it upon dry land. And the water which you take out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. And Moses said unto Yahuwah, O my master, I'm not eloquent.
So we know this story, right? We read this in numerous occasions for multiple examples. But even after he said, they're going to believe you, he gave him the two signs. Then he gave him a third sign that was more miraculous than the first two. And now Moses is like, but I'm not eloquent. Go ahead.
Neither heretofore nor since you have spoken unto your servant, but I'm slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And Yahuwah said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who made the dumb, or the deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I Yahuwah? Now therefore go, and I'll be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say.
So even if you're not eloquent, I'm going to tell you what to say. So you don't even have to worry about it. Go ahead.
And he said, oh my master, send, I pray you, by the hand of whom you going to send.
Like send somebody else, right? He still didn't want to go. Now let's see what the Most High response was.
And the anger.
And the what?
And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against Moses.
So Moses was angry. So the Most High was angry with Moses. When you look at the definition of this word anger, it's like displeasure. He was displeased. He was upset. He was most likely frustrated because he's telling them, just do what I told you. Everything is going to be okay. And Moses have any parents ever dealt with that? Okay, I just want to understand, that we can all relate to the frustration of telling our knucklehead children to do something, and they want to question or say, but, and you say, just do what y'all kids don't do that, do y'all? Do y'all kids do that? Not our kids.
I dare one of y'all.
Our kids listen, don't they? But it says that the anger of the Most High was kindled against Moses. Go ahead.
And he said, is not Aharon the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak well.
That's good. So we understand that then he sent Aaron to be the mouthpiece for Moses. But we see that the Most High was angry. Even though he didn't display any actions behind his anger, he was angry, but yet he still gave Moses an alternative that was suitable, right?
We're not flesh.
But this just shows you that the anger, if the Most High is not flesh, the anger, matter of fact, grab 1 Kings 11, that if he's not flesh and he gets angry, that the anger cannot come from our flesh. However, anger can be caused by a reaction from the flesh. We'll see that too. 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 9.
1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 9. And Yahuwah was angry with Solomon.
Okay, so Yah was angry with Solomon, right? Why was he angry with Solomon? Let's see.
And Yahuwah was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice.
Which I did what?
Appeared unto him twice.
So just like Moses, he was angry with Solomon because Solomon's heart was turned away from the Most High, right? But it says that the Most High appeared unto him twice, which means that when he appeared the first time and Solomon wasn't right, he still appeared a second time and Solomon still wasn't right? Continue.
And he commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which Yahuwah commanded. Wherefore Yahuwah said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of you, and you have not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded you, I will surely rend the kingdom from you, and will give it to your servant. Notwithstanding, in your days I will not do it for David your father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of your son. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe of your son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
Okay, so we understand that the Most High took the kingdom from Solomon, split the kingdom, right? This is what happened. We just learned a lesson. But that's the result of Solomon going against the Most High. So grab Exodus 32 and verse 7. Because I want to show y'all a difference. Even though the Most High anger was kindled against Moses, and the Most High's anger was kindled against Solomon, what did he also do in his anger? What did he display? Exactly. Mercy. Even within his anger, he displayed mercy. That's the difference between when the Most High get angry and when we get angry. Because when we get angry, gloves is off. We bare knuckle brawl our own. That's it. We bare knuckle brawl our own siblings, our own children, our own spouse. Like we'll go to bat. I mean, we'll go forward with our own brothers because we'll get that upset. But understand the difference. When the Most High was angry, he still showed mercy because he didn't allow his anger to do what? To control him. Exactly. That's where the flesh come in. Because the anger, if not subdued by the Ruach, will control you to the point where you do something in the flesh. Exodus 32 and verse 7.
Exodus or Shemot chapter 32 and verse 7. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, go, get you down, for your people, which you brought out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, these be your gods, O Israel, which have brought you up out of the land of Egypt. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it's a stiff-necked people.
So this is when the children of Israel in the wilderness had created the calf, right? And he told Moses, go. Now, these was the God's people when he brought them up out of tell Pharaoh to let my people go, right? As soon as they got out there in the wilderness on that folly, he said, Moses, go get your people.
Who you brought up out of there?
Who you brought up out of Egypt.
I ain't even claiming them no more.
Right. Verse 10.
Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them.
That my what?
That my wrath may wax hot against them.
Uh-huh.
And that I may consume them.
Uh-huh.
And I will make of you a great nation.
And I'm gonna consume them and make of you a great nation. But his wrath, he said, go from me and leave me alone so my wrath can wax hot against the people, right? Verse 13. This is Moses' response to the Most High.
Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swear by your own self, and said unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of Shamaim. And all this land that I have spoken of will I give to your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And Yahuwah repented of the evil.
And he did what?
And Yahuwah repented of the evil, which he thought to do. Which he thought to do
unto his people, right? So first things first, the people committed a transgression. The Most High was ready to wipe them out, right? And Moses calmed the Most High down with what? His own word. And told him to do what? His first words to him in verse 13 was what? Remember, right? Remember. So first things first. So wait, then the Most High repented of repented of the evil which he thought to do. So he hadn't ran through nothing yet, but he thought, this is what I'm about to do to these people. And Moses told him, remember your word, basically. So first things first is, when we get to the point where we're about to do something in our flesh out of anger, what's the first thing that we should do? First thing you got to do is think. Because before you do anything, you're already thinking, I'm about to kill it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the situation is. But he said, remember your word, right? We can't remember the Most High's word if the word ain't in us.
Hallelujah.
If we ain't putting this word in us, there's no way we can remember it. So we first, like I said, if you're doing yourself a disservice, if you're not putting these scriptures in you in order to know how we're supposed to do. And if you are putting these scriptures in you, the whole point of it is so that when things happen, when trials take place, when you are tempted to do it, say evil. When you're tempted to do something, remember the Most High's word. Before you carry out your act, remember the Most High's word, right? Like, you know what's crazy? So you could get into, let's say you get into something in the street, right? And what's the cliche? The person that they say you walk away is the what?
Bigger person.
Is the bigger person. The bigger person walk away. So what is a bigger person? Stronger, wiser, whatever you want to put to it. But it's telling you that the right thing to do in those situations is walk away. However, we've been conditioned to think that walking away make us weak.
The wicked flee with no one pursuit.
But to walk away, according to, it's supposed to make you strong. Because if you're wise, the wise man knows. But the foolish one is the one that will want to deal with strife. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see this in the scriptures as we continue. Matter of fact, let's grab Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29 and verse 22.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 22. An angry man stir up strife, and a furious man abound in transgression.
So what does it mean to abound?
Live, stay.
It increase, multiply. In what?
Transgression.
In transgression. Right? Proverbs 19 and 11.
Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 11. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger.
So what does it mean, discretion? Discretion here means understanding, right? So when you understand the word of the Most High, right? When we can call to our remembrance the word of the Most High, when we deal in these situations, and we have understanding. No, especially when we're dealing with people who don't have understanding, right? So it says that the discretion or the understanding of a man defers his anger. So you have understanding, you're dealing with somebody that doesn't have understanding. You have to recall the word of the Most High in order to push your anger down, to bridle that anger, right? To control it. You follow what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The discretion of a man defers his anger, and it is his esteem.
And it is his what?
It is his esteem.
It is his esteem, or the word here, esteem, means ornament or beauty. To do what?
Pass over a transgression.
To pass over a transgression. So notice the difference. In 29 and 22, it says, an angry man stirs up strife, and a furious man abounds or increases or multiplies in transgression. However, it says that the discretion or understanding of a man defers his anger, and his beauty or his ornament is to pass over transgression. So allowing your understanding to defer or to control your anger is allowing yourself to pass over a transgression, right? Because in an instant, you can allow anger to cause you to transgress the law easily. Let's grab Proverbs 15 and verse 18. Because the whole fact of the matter, like we just talked about with the Most High, right? The Most High, though he gets angry, he is not controlled by his anger. He's controlled by his word. And what are we supposed to be controlled by?
His word.
Plain and simple. His word is supposed to control us. Allow peace to have its perfect work in you, right? Proverbs 15 and 18.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 18. A wrathful man stir up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeases strife.
So when a situation happens, and you can feel, it's the same thing with pride, right? Because the anger is rooted in pride. When you feel like somebody is, like the situation that happened just last night, right? With the sister across the alley, like going bananas over me blocking her driveway. Like, it upset me, but not to the point where I was, do something. But I understood what Perry was saying. I understood just apologize and move on. Because it really wasn't nothing that I could say that was going to change how she felt. Because whatever she angry about, blocking her driveway. So it ain't nothing that we can all. So we understanding of a man, right?
Like a lot of times when we see somebody angry or we see somebody in their feelings, we think that the next thing that we'll say will just switch them off. In your mind, you think it's my turn. No, when they angry, you gotta allow them their time. You know what I'm saying?
So it's grab Proverbs 16 and 32. No, you good. Proverbs 16 and 32. So just like I said, when you understand that a person is dealing with something, especially a person of understanding, and we know the word, and we know that the person, like I said, it's clear that the sister was dealing with something that had nothing to do with me, had nothing to do with any of us. and she's what Charlie Murphy say, she a habitual line stepper. She constantly crossing the line. You know what I mean? But it's like it's like, you know, understanding that it really ain't got nothing to do, whatever it is, it ain't got nothing to do with us. So we just gotta kind of bypass it. And we you know, we see this all the time. And like Trav saying, a lot of times when you run into somebody and they on 10 and you could be having a bad day, whatever the situation might be, and it immediately puts you on 10. Because you're getting the energy and the vibe, and we feed off energy and vibes. And you immediately like, you can't talk to me like that. What? And it's a whole bigger issue. But what y'all tell me yesterday at the about the soccer? True indeed. Proverbs 16:32.
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
There you go. There's your bigger person right there. Be the bigger person. Go ahead.
And he that rule his ruach than he that take a city.
And a man that can control his own ruach. So see what it's saying there too, huh? He that rules his what? His flesh. His flesh?
His ruach.
His ruach. Than he that takes a city. James chapter 1 and verse 18.
The anger don't come from the flesh. The anger comes from what God gave. Talk that talk. Man, these pages are getting crazy. 118?
Yep, James 1 and 18.
James 1:18. Of his own will begot he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear.
Be what?
Swift to hear. Slow to speak. Slow to wrath.
Slow to speak and slow to wrath. So this is something that I talk about many times. When a person, when you have an issue, and we're supposed to be able to talk through our issues, right? And if you're only talking, if you're not listening and all you're doing is talking, or you're only listening so that the person can finish talking so that you can talk. Basically, you're listening to respond rather than listening to understand. There's no way that you can come to a resolution, because I really don't want to hear what you're saying. I just want you to hear what I'm saying. To a point where when you try to have a conversation with a person, they continuously cutting you off and cutting you off and cutting you off. It's because they're not really listening to what you're saying anyway. But they just want you to hear them. But it says slow to speak and slow to wrath. So a lot of times, what I try to do, you understand, what I try to do is, when you're dealing with that situation, is just let a person just talk and talk and talk and talk. And then finally I'll ask, are you finished? Can I talk now? And they'll be like, yeah, go ahead. And then to the point where they want you to listen. You know what I mean? Where they'll go ahead and listen. But sometimes you just got to let a person chop to get it out their system. Otherwise, because they're not going to hear nothing you saying as long as they got something on their chest, right? Verse 20.
For the wrath of man.
For the what?
For the wrath of man.
For the wrath of man does what?
Work not the righteousness of Elohim.
So when you caught up in your own wrath, it says it works not the righteousness of Elohim. So if it don't work righteousness, what do it work? Plain and simple, right? Proverbs 25 and 28. And I'm going to give y'all a couple definitions, so go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 28. He that hath no rule over his own ruach is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
So a city that's broken down and without walls means it doesn't have any what?
Protection.
No protection. So if you can't control your ruach, right? You just like a city with no protection. A city with no protection means that it's easy to what? Attack and defeat. If you don't have no protection. So you controlling your own ruach is you protecting yourself. We must have self-control, right? So when we're dealing with this ruach, right? The definition of ruach in the Brown Driver's Briggs is H7307. We get wind, breath, mind, spirit. And also in H3820 is the Hebrew word led. It means it's what's translated as heart in English. But we get in a very wide variety the feelings, right? Figuratively, the feelings. So let's grab Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9. Thus saith Yahuwah unto me. Oh, I'm sorry, that's verse 19. Verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
So we use this scripture all the time, right? Well, we have when we're dealing with somebody coming out of the Christian church or conventional religion, traditional religion, and we say, see, when they try to tell us that God know their heart, and we tell them the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So let me ask you this. Does that mean that we don't or cannot know our own heart? No?
You don't even know your own heart, brother.
Yeah, but that's how we use this scripture. Is that proper? That we can't and don't know our own hearts? No? Our own feelings, our own hearts. Say again? In order to control it, you have to know it. Yeah, you agree with that? I believe for the most part, we all do know our own heart from the standpoint is that you know what's going to set you off, right? Before somebody do something, look, you will warn somebody. Before you go there, just chill out because you're liable to set me off, right? Matthew 15 and 19.
I'm stopping right there, bro.
Right. Before you even go there.
15, 19.
15, 19.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 19. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man.
That's good. So it's what proceed out of the heart, right? That defile a man. So is that saying that these things just happen? Out of the heart. It's telling you out of the heart, all of these evil things come about. But does that mean that by nature, that's just our heart? Yeah? No? No? Yeah? Yeah? How many years we got? One? That's okay. Raise your hand, sister. You can be, if you want to be on the island by yourself, that's cool. If not, it's some other people that agree with you. They behind you, though. You can't see it. Who say yeah? Who say no?
Answer the question.
The question is when it says that for out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses, and blasphemies, and these are the things that defile a man. Is this to say that naturally this is what's in our heart? No. Some people is in their heart. Some people is not.
So
you say yeah.
Raise your hand for naturally.
Raise your hand if you believe that naturally that all of these things are in our heart. Raise your hand if you believe no. You think, huh? You're indifferent? Not sure. No. Okay, we're gonna see. So before we go back into Jeremiah 17 and 9, we're gonna read through and get a little bit of context, and then we're going to go back. So let's go Judges chapter 2 and verse 11. We're going to come back. So keep this present in the front of your head, this topic, because we're going to come back and we're going to deal with it. So I just want to sidebar for a minute. This shows Judges chapter 2 and verse 11. And we're going to come back here.
Judges chapter 2, verse 11. The children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahuwah and served Baalim.
So they committed idolatry, right? And served another power. Go ahead.
And they forsook Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked Yahuwah to anger.
And did what?
Provoked Yahuwah to anger.
To anger. And they provoked the Most High to anger. Go ahead.
And they forsook Yahuwah and served Baal and Ashtoreth. And the anger of Yahuwah was hot against Israel. And he delivered them into the hand of the spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hand of their enemies round about.
Okay. Judges chapter 10, verse 6. So the children of Israel did wicked in the sight of the Most High. And the Most High, when it says he sold them to the spoilers, and he brought them into subjection to the people that was round about, right? We agree? Yes? Yes, no? Okay. Y'all with me? Still? I know it's hot. I know it's hot. We ain't got that long. See, look, fire, the front coming. It's hot. We know it's hot.
That's that lesson. All right.
Judges 10 and 6.
Judges chapter 10 and verse 6. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahuwah and served Baalim.
So we understand that the children of Israel did evil in chapter 2. He gave them up to the spoilers. They cried out to him. He rescued them, right? So in chapter 10, that's what it's telling you. They did evil again. And not only did they do evil again, but it says they served who?
Baalim.
The same false gods, right? So they did the same thing again. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahuwah and served Baalim and Asherah and the gods of Syria and the gods of Sidon and the gods of Moab and the gods of the children of Ammon and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook Yahuwah and served not him. And the anger of Yahuwah was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of the Philistines.
He did what?
Sold them into the hand of the Philistines. And into the hands of the children of Ammon. And that year they vexed and oppressed the children of Israel 18 years. And all the children of Israel that were on the other side Jordan, in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead.
That's good. Judges 13 and verse 1.
Judges 13 and 1. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years.
40 years under the hand of the Philistines, right? 1 Samuel chapter 12. In verse 9.
First Samuel chapter 12, verse 9. And when they forgot Yahuwah their Elohim, he sold them into the hands of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazar, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab. And they fought against him. And they cried unto Yahuwah and said, we have sinned, because we have forsaken Yahuwah and have served Baalim and Asherah. But now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve you.
And deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve. So it's the same thing over and over again, right? They sinned, the Most High punished them. They cried out, the Most High saved them. They sinned, the Most High, over and over and over again, right? So let's go back to Jeremiah 17 and start at verse 1. It's a lot of good scriptures that we use in this Jeremiah 17. Start at verse 1.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 1. The sin of Yehuda is written with the pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart.
It is what?
It is graven upon the table of their heart.
So what do you think that means? That it's written with a pen of iron, with what did it say? With the point of a diamond, and graven upon the table of their heart. Sound kind of permanent, right?
Forever.
Right. So it's like I haven't forgot all the mess that y'all been on, right? Go ahead.
While their children remember their altars and their groves by green trees upon the hills, upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give your substance and all your treasures to the spoil, and your high places for sin throughout all your borders. And you, even yourself, shall discontinue from your heritage I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in a land which you know not, where you have kindled a fire in my anger.
In my what?
In my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. Go ahead.
Cursed be the man that trusts in man.
We use this all the time, right? Cursed be the man that trusts in man. Oh, but my pastor said, cursed be the man that trusts in man. Give me Jeremiah 17:5. Right? Because we use this because, you know, people in the Christian church, they always want to run to their pastor as opposed to being self-sufficient in understanding and knowing these scriptures, right? So we use this verse to say, cursed is the man that trusts in man, right? And does what?
And make flesh his arm, whose heart depart from Yahuwah. For he shall be like heath in the desert, and shall not see when good come, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabited.
Okay, so just to bring some understanding. So cursed is the man that trusts in man, and make flesh his arm. Basically, when you make man, when you believe in the strength of man as opposed to the strength of the Most High, is what he's saying, right? So those people will be cursed, right? So all of these false deities that they was believing in that didn't exist, that's where the curse came about, right? Go ahead.
Increased is the man that trusts in Yahuwah, in whose hope Yahuwah is.
So when you believe and you trust in the Most High, then you will be blessed as opposed to cursed, right? Simple. Go ahead.
For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spread out her roots by the river.
So this go back right into the testimony time when we was talking about. Blessed is the man that trusts in the Most High, whose hope is in Yahuwah, right? It says, for he shall be planted by the water. So when we just to address what Sister Wanda was saying, like, you know, when you with your trust in the Most High and not go after, you know, your own understanding, but seek you first the kingdom, right? He says that you will be planted. Now, a person don't plant themselves, right? The Most High does the planting, yeah? So you will be planted, which means he gonna put you where he want to put you, right? But where he say you're gonna be planted by what?
By the waters. And that spread out her roots by the river. And shall not see when heat come, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought.
What's that mean? Not be careful in the year of drought. Not nothing to worry about when the drought comes, because you planted by the water, right? Go ahead.
Neither shall cease from yielding fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
So this is back to where we started. Who can know the heart? It's deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Go ahead.
I, Yahuwah, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doing.
Do every man according to his ways and the fruit of his doing. So when the Most High search the heart, if it's no good in the heart, you will be given those things according to your ways, because you're, like you say, out of the heart proceed evil doings and adultery. So if you have a wicked heart, that's when wicked things come about in your actions. But if you have a good heart, and good things come out in your actions. So the Most High, when he searches the heart and he finds wickedness, you're going to be given, give give every man according to his ways. So if your ways are wicked because your heart is wicked, he give you according to your ways. If your ways are good because your heart is good, he give you according to your ways. Good, right? Go ahead.
As the partridge sit on eggs and hatch them not, so he that get riches and not by right.
So read that again for everybody that might not be paying attention. Because I didn't understand this at all when I read it the first time.
As the partridge sit on eggs and hatch them not, so he that get riches and not by right.
So do anybody understand this scripture just right off the top? But what is the partridge and the eggs got to do with anything? I didn't understand that. Can you give me some understanding? You know? Say that again, Trev.
Partridge don't lay eggs.
Because the partridge don't lay eggs.
It's sitting on it, waiting on it to hatch like it's the mother.
But it steals eggs. Yeah. The partridge steals eggs from other birds. Yeah. Me neither. I didn't know it either. It threw me. I'm like, what does that mean? So I had to look it up. And I saw it. The partridge, it steals eggs. So it says, as the partridge, as the partridge. And then what it said, what happens then, even when the eggs hatch, when the birds hear the voice of their real mother, it go to the real mother. So that's why, read the whole verse.
As the partridge sit on eggs and hatch them not, so he that get riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool.
So if you get riches and you don't do it the right way, the rich is going to eventually leave you. The same way the partridge, when it hatch eggs from another bird, the bird eventually leave and go back to its original owner. I didn't understand that, but I just wanted, because it was deeper than just, I've probably read it before, but I didn't get it.
How can man know that?
Right.
How can man know that?
Verse 12.
A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. O Yahuwah, the hope of Israel. All that forsake you shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me, shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken Yahuwah, the fountain of living water.
The fountain of living water. So back to the whole heart thing, right? So the heart being desperately wicked. Let's grab James chapter 1 and verse 14. The heart being deceitfully. James 1 and 14.
James 1:14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bring forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bring forth death.
So it says every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust, right? So where does grab Psalms chapter 4 and verse 2. So when you first tempted, it say lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, right? And it say drawn away by your own lust. Where does this take place? In the heart, absolutely. The desire is set up once you're drawn away because it take hold of the heart or in the mind. Like it say you're supposed to cast down what?
Every imagination.
Right? And everything that exalt
itself against the Most High.
So when something is trying to exalt itself against the Most High, right? And now, or even if it don't exalt itself, but you exalt it against the Most High, you creating for yourself a what? An idol, a false deity.
What does exalt mean? Lift up, the pride.
But you create for yourself a deity, an idol, right? You create it for yourself, and it says you don't cast down the imagination. If your mind or your heart, you desire something so much then now you exalted above the Most High, meaning that now it's more important than Yah. So now everything that's concerning the Most High is put on the back burner because I got to have that, right? And so it says that you're drawn away from your own lust and enticed. And then when it have conceived, it bring forth sin, right? Psalms chapter 4 and verse 2.
Psalms 4 and 2. O you sons of men, how long will you turn my esteem into shame? How long will you love vanity and seek after leasing?
Psalms chapter 4 and verse 2. Is that right? Go ahead.
But know that Yahuwah has set apart him that is godly for himself.
Yahuwah did what?
Set apart him that is godly for himself.
So the Most High has set apart those who are righteous for himself, right? Go ahead.
Yahuwah will hear when I call unto him.
Go ahead.
Stand in awe.
Now stand in awe means be agitated or enraged, right? Go ahead.
And sin not.
And do what?
And sin not.
So we read this before, right? But we read it someplace else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says what?
Be angry.
Be angry
and sin not.
And sin not. So it's okay to be angry because the Most High, we get our emotion from him. Anger and all these other feelings, right? From him. It's okay to be angry, but don't allow your anger to control you. Don't allow your anger to abound to the point where you cause a transgression, right? We read this in some of the Proverbs already. So it says, stand in awe or be angry or be agitated or rage and sin not. Go ahead.
Commune with your own heart.
Do what?
Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still.
What does it mean to commune with your own heart? Psalm 77 and 6.
That's deep. Yeah. The way did it say that as opposed to how it said over there?
Say again. Say it one more time. Examine. Perfect.
77.
Yeah. Psalm 77 and verse 6.
Psalm 77, verse 6. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart.
I do what?
I commune with my own heart. And my ruach made diligent search.
And my ruach made diligent search when I commune with my own heart. Like Brother James just said. Let's grab Ephesians 2 Corinthians 13. 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. As we need to understand what it means to commune with your own heart. Right? Because if we don't know our heart, and our heart is just wicked no matter what.
Yeah, goner.
Right? But if we commune with our own heart, right? What does it mean to commune?
2 Corinthians 13:5.
Yeah.
Examine yourselves.
What?
Examine yourselves. Whether you be in the faith. Prove your own self. Know you not your own self? How that Yeshua HaMashiach is in you, except you be reprobate?
So he said, no, you not that the Mashiach is in you unless you are reprobate. And we know a reprobate, what do? They justify wrong within themselves and find loopholes about, oh no, what I'm doing ain't wrong. It's, justifying loopholes. But he said, it starts off with examine yourself. So when we communing with our own hearts, right, that's what we're doing. We are examining ourselves, giving ourselves that self-examination, like you mentioned in the very beginning, right? Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. Because when we come into this truth, right? When we come into this truth, in Romans it says what? Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says what? Be not conformed to the things of this world, right? But be you what?
Transformed.
By the what? By the what?
By the renewing of your mind.
By the renewing of your mind. So if your heart at one time was desperately wicked or deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, right? When we come into the knowledge and the understanding of who the Most High is, of who the Messiah is, right? You are supposed to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. That's what that ruach, like I say, anger coming from the ruach, right? In the depth, mind, wind, breath. Our spirit and mind is connected. So if we allow anger to take hold of our mind, right? But our mind is still our old mind, the old man, who we used to be, right? Then we will react based on our flesh, as opposed to having a renewed mind, being those of understanding, and know when things happen, like you say, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, understanding that it's the trying of your faith work what? Patience. This is how we gain wisdom. So when things happen, you're not supposed to react out of your flesh. You're supposed to sit back, think, remember the Most High's word, and allow your actions to dictate. Allow what the word is to dictate your actions. Don't allow your flesh to dictate your actions. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ephesians 2:1.
Ephesians 2:1. And you have he quickened, who were dead in trespasses.
The old man, dead in trespasses and sins, right? Go ahead.
Where in times past you walked according to the course of this world.
Of what?
To the course of this world.
Uh-huh.
According to the prince of the power of the air.
Mm-hmm.
The ruach that now work in the children of disobedience.
The ruach that works in who?
The children of disobedience.
Right? So that same ruach where these things are generated from, right? And the children of disobedience, they have a whole different response than the children of the Most High, right? Go ahead.
Among whom also we all had our conversation in times past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh, and of the mind.
And of the what?
And of the mind. And were by nature.
And were by what?
By nature, the children of wrath, even as others.
Even as others. The others that was just mentioned in the prior verse, being the children of disobedience, right? The children of wrath. But when we, like we talked about, by nature, yeah, the heart would be desperately wicked, right? And deceitfully wicked above all, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we are converted into this new man, in this new creature,
yes, sir,
and transformed by the renewing of our mind, we supposed to walk different.
Yeah.
We supposed to act different.
Yes, sir.
Right? The scripture, the word Kodesh means we are what?
Set apart.
Set apart. Which means that if somebody see you wilding out because you lose your temper, can they tell the difference between you and the children of disobedience?
No.
So are you set apart at that point?
No.
Oh. But it's something that we gotta work on until we able to work it out. Like it take a lot for somebody to get in your face and you to be like, shit. But it's just like this. Think about it like this, right? Think about it like this. If a child got in your face and was like, oh man, I beat you down, what would your reaction be? Right? For the most part, you would find it funny. For the most part, you would find it funny. Like, come on. You know what I mean? But that's supposed to be our reaction. It really is. That's supposed to be our reaction, because when somebody get in your face, understanding, being a man or a person, I don't want to exclude the sisters, being a person of understanding, we supposed to have the same, I guess, response as we would if it was a child. Be understanding that they can't do us no harm.
So I can't get a kid with hands.
You can. Should you? Is it expedient?
It's not expedient. What you gonna do afterwards? Yeah. Kid.
Grab Ephesians 4:17.
You'll feel like the little person then.
Ephesians 4:17. I'm about to try to wrap this up for y'all.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 17. This I say, therefore, and testify in the master, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind.
In the what?
In the vanity of their mind.
Walk not as the other Gentiles walk, in the vanity or the nothingness of their minds, right?
Having the understanding darkened.
Having what?
The understanding darkened.
So, if you are a person who read and live by these scriptures, right? And you allow, like we say, when somebody take you off your square, what you say? I was in my flesh. And you allow yourself to get in your flesh. It says having understanding darkened. You a man of understanding, but you allow your understanding to be darkened or overshadowed by what you feeling in your body. Go ahead.
Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim.
Being the what?
Being alienated from the life of Elohim.
Through what?
Through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart.
Because of the blindness of their heart. But if we already know and our heart is already in a good place, the only reason our understanding can be darkened and our heart can be blinded is because we allow it to be blinded. We already know, like right now, sitting here, comfortable in our comfort zone, reading these scriptures, we already know what we're supposed to do. But allowing yourself to get out of character when faced with the situation, like that's when we supposed to apply it. That's the applied knowledge. If we just know what we're supposed to do, then when we face with the diverse temptations, we don't do it. We missing it. We completely missing it. That's when you run face to face with it. That's when you're supposed to apply the knowledge right then and there when it happens. Because the script, like when Mashiach, right, when he was led by the Ruach into the wilderness in Matthew chapter 4, and the enemy came to him and they tempted him to do evil. What was his response? He gave him scripture, right? For it is written, man shall not live by bread alone. For it is written, you shall not tempt him. For it is written. That's how he came at him. So when we dealing with our own enemies in the midst of our own wilderness, and he come against us and try to take us off our square and do those things to where we would darken our own understanding, to where we would put blinders on our own hearts, how should we respond? With the word. Point blank, period. So let me give you an example of why we don't respond with the word. Let's grab Isaiah 26 and verse 3. I'm going to wrap this up for y'all. Isaiah 26, because I think y'all got it, right? We got the point, yeah? Okay. So now let's wrap it up. Let's bring it on home.
Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. You will keep him in perfect peace.
That's that perfect peace that Trav taught us about, right? That peace that does what?
Surpass all understanding.
Right? So it says that he will keep him in perfect peace that what?
Whose mind is stayed on you.
Uh-huh.
Because he trusts in you.
Whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Now, I taught a lesson in the past where I said, when you're going through stuff, get out the way. Stop putting yourself in the way and selfing it all up. Instead of letting the Most High work on your behalf. Sit your behind down and let y'all work. Because in a whole bunch of other situations where you did that and the Most High worked on your behalf and things worked out for your advantage, right? But some stuff I just got to say something. No, you don't. Just be quiet and let the Most High keep working on your behalf. Get out the way.
What make you have to say something?
I just gotta say something.
What is it?
It's that pride. That's what I'm saying. It's all rooted. It's rooted in that. Just stop. Because y'all is working exactly. You don't never have to do nothing. Like they used to say. All I gotta do is do what?
Stay black and down.
They're the only things that I have to do. You ain't have to say nothing to that person. Like I said, just like last night, I felt like I needed to say something to that woman. She was being disrespectful.
I had to say, you ain't just gonna be talking to us like that. But I should have shut my mouth and just got in my car and moved. But I didn't disrespect her.
You try to turn away her wrath.
Joshua chapter 1. You said what?
You tried to turn away her wrath.
Nah, I was in my feelings a little bit.
Hey, what you say? Or a brother said to me the other day. He said, if some of the same stuff keep happening to you, instead of thinking about what he say, instead of thinking about what what did he say? Something to the effect of think about what Yah's trying to show you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It keeps happening over and over. And somebody responds to her the same way every time. But if we apply this, maybe she'll be different next time. Maybe.
Like Isaiah 26:3 says, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. So it says, you will keep him in perfect peace. So if my mind is on the Most High, when they try to take me off my square, it's of no avail because my mind is on the Most High. It's focused on the Most High, even though, like what Trav just said, what is y'all trying to show me in this? What lesson is there to be learned in this? And we have to approach situations like that, right? Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8.
Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written therein.
So when it say observe to do all that is written therein, what is that? Just in one word. Application. Yeah. Observe to do. So the law shall not depart out of your mouth, and you shall meditate therein day and night. The whole point of meditating in the word consistently is so that when you face with the diverse temptations, that you can observe to do all that is written therein, right? So that you can apply it. Go ahead.
For then shall you make your way prosperous.
For when?
For then shall you make your way prosperous.
Is it anybody trying to make their way prosperous?
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Okay, like Trav say, it's an open book test. We want to make our way prosperous, right? Guess what? The answer is that Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. He just gave us the answer.
So how do I be successful?
You want to be successful in life? You want to make your way prosperous? Meditate in the book of the law day and night and observe. That way you begin to observe to do all that is written therein. For then
shall make your way prosperous. And then you shall have good success.
Point blank period. There's the answer. For everybody that was looking for it, that was searching for the meaning of life. Anybody who was looking for it, it's right there. Now we know what to do. Psalms 104 and 34.
Psalms 101 verse 34. You said
104.
Oh, 104. 104, 34.
104, 34.
My meditation on him shall be sweet. I will be glad in Yahuwah.
I will be what?
I will be glad in Yahuwah.
Is that joy that we was talking about too? Let's grab Psalms 119 and 97. We'll end it there. 119 and 97.
119 and 97. Psalms 119 verse 97. Oh, how I love your law. It is my meditation all the day.
It is my meditation all the day. So, in conclusion, when we are faced with those situations that flare up our pride and cause us to get angry, the first thing we have to do is think and remember the word of the Most High, because he's the example, right? So we do what he did. We think. Remember the word of the Most High. And we apply his word in the situation, right? And then it says that he's going to give us that peace, right? So even if it's because we are people of understanding, because even if it's a situation to where we feel like we're being slighted, if we understand that, if we look at it like Trav said and say, well, what is the Most High trying to show me right now? What lesson is there to be learned from this situation? Because you understand, like people say, I don't never lose. I either win or I what? Learn. So if you understand that with the Most High, you don't lose. There's no way you can lose. You're either going to win or you're going to learn a lesson. So that the next time you faced with a similar situation, you're able to apply his word. And then now that diverse temptation that you fell into taught you wisdom. Wisdom just had a perfect working. See how the word is coming alive once you start applying it to your life. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the conclusion of the lesson. And we open the floor up for questions, so anybody have it.
Hallelujah. You like it, you love it, you hate it, don't do it again. Bring this one back next week. Good.
Who said somebody had a question?
She got
go ahead. You asked him earlier today about anger? Wow, look at that. Mm-hmm. All right. So the question was, can you be angry with Yah? Can you be angry with Yah and express it to him? So, is there any transgression in that? I guess would be the question. Huh? Yeah, absolutely. They can be mad. Look, like I say, they can be mad and they can tell you, Dad, I'm mad. But they ain't gonna do nothing about it. Like you say, be angry and sin not. If there's no transgression, because the whole thing is we're supposed to commune, right? Commune. We're supposed to be able to talk, right? We're supposed to be able to express ourselves to the Most High. If you're angry, it's an emotion. It's an emotion. If you're angry, you should be able to talk. It's just like if you get angry with me, right? And you want to express your anger to me. How are you going to express your anger to me? You going to come scream on me? Like, B, you did? Or are you going to say, look, Brother B, I ain't like when you said such and such and such and such. Because the Most High said in Isaiah, he said, come now and let us reason together. So if we can reason together, if we can reason with the Most High, we're supposed to be able to reason with each other, right? So if you're feeling an emotion that is stirred up by whatever happened, and you're supposed to be able to talk to the Most High about it. But you ain't gonna go screaming on him. Yeah. You're gonna talk to him, right?
I think a lot of times the word anger or angry is associated with the mad face. You know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily anger. You know what I'm saying? Just like you're showing your anger through your flesh. That's what you're doing with your flesh. But the anger is something that's inside. Like you said, the Most High said his anger was kindled against the children of Israel. And he politely told Moses, get you down from here. Go and get your people. Because I'm going to do, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like he struck Moses with the lightning so he can hear him. Get your people. You know what I'm saying? So the anger is just, like you said, it's just that emotion. Right. It's how you express that emotion. Yeah. That's what anything that'll bring you to the sin or not.
So let's see an example of somebody angry with y'all. The second Sam chapter 6. And usually, well, all the time you wrong anyway. That's what it really is. You wrong anyway. 2 Samuel chapter 6, pick it up at verse 1.
2 Samuel
So he said, mostly, no, you wrong anyway. Second Samuel chapter 6, verse 1. Again, David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baali unto Yehuda to bring up from thence the ark of Elohim.
So, what is the ark? What is average man that's not a Levite not supposed to do? Touch the ark. Not supposed to touch it, right? Go ahead.
Whose name is called by the name of Yahuwah of hosts that dwell between the cherubim. And they set the ark of Elohim upon a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah. And Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart.
They shouldn't have been driving it because they not fights. Read.
And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of Elohim. And Ahio, I'm going to figure out how to pronounce that name, went before the ark. And David and all the house of Israel played before Yahuwah on all manner of instruments made of fir wood.
So they having a good time. Partying, bringing the ark out.
I feel. Okay.
Read.
On all manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps and psalteries, on timbrels and on cornets and on cymbals.
So these happy people.
Yeah, yeah. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of Elohim and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against Uzzah, and Elohim smote him, therefore, for his error. There he died by the ark of Elohim.
So everybody knows that you're not supposed to touch the ark unless you are a Levite, right? But David is behind this whole thing that's going down. Read.
And David was displeased.
He was what?
Displeased.
Oh, so David is mad. This displeased right here, 8:27:34, means to be hot, furious, burn, become angry, be kindled. Read.
Because Yahuwah had made a breach upon Uzzah, and he called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of Yahuwah that day.
He was
Afraid of Yahuwah that day.
I'm mad at you, but I ain't gonna say.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Because David is actually the one that's wrong with this whole thing. He knew not to have them driving it in the first place. But you mad? Dang, man, you could at least reverse it this one time. Yeah, exactly. But his word says don't touch it.
It's 3 people that David done got killed.
We got any other questions in here?
That might not be on.
This?
Yeah. That's the law. Just press it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The wheel don't work.
Okay. Sister said we should have gave homegirl a dinner.
Should have gave her. I wanted to take one over there, which we did that the one time, but she still.
Hallelujah, Agani. Nah, brother, you good, man. Testimony is always warranted, bro. No questions? No questions?
Yeah.
Question.
One question. Scripture says a soft answer turns away wrath. Is that over time? That you keep being soft to the person. Let's say eventually they're gonna chill out, or it could remain, or is it something to teach us to just keep giving a soft answer?
It's like when somebody is mad at you or whatnot, right? but you don't feed back into the energy, eventually they're gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Like girls is out there screaming. The way that me and Craig was saying to a coach, I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. I'll move out your way. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, instead of her keeping on going by him saying you can talk to somebody in a different way, it's feeding the anger even more, right? But I believe if he would have said it in that way, she might have said a couple more words and then just walked on away. Because I ain't arguing back with you. That's what he's talking about. The soft answer turns away wrath. I use it at home sometimes. And I sometimes leave a pair of shoes in the living room or something. Right? So she comes, you and all these shoes. I'm gonna move it out the way right now. Oh. All right. Just try it. It actually really, really works.
No, that's what you do. Especially if you're in the wrong. Especially if you're in the wrong. Our defense mechanism shoot up, especially when we wrong. You automatically jump on the defensive when somebody call you out on it. What you mean? Even though you know you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, even if you're not wrong, man, soft answer.
We good?
If you come from anywhere at any time, me and Maccabees was talking about this last week. I'm sitting on my bus, minding my business. Little girl come on the bus. She got a little thing of slime. And she said, "But Johnny, look, I got some slime." I said, "Okay, cool." I turned my head back and she slapped me in the back of my head. And for that 2.5 seconds, I nearly lost it. The Hulk was inside of me. Mellow smash, little girl. I grabbed her arm so fast. Again, for like 2 seconds, I was about to Hulk the little girl. Who are you to think that you can slap my head? It was the disrespectful one too. It was the man. Caught it. Mellow smash, little girl. And I thought about everything I'm gonna do to her for it. Get on. Come and get this little girl. She just hit me in the back of my head. So bad I didn't know what to do. It can come just that quick and make you lose it. Then there's cameras on there, right? So if I do something to her, they're gonna put it all on her. Look at this terrible bus driver. He just beat this little girl up. Right?
Those black men have misplaced masculinity. Toxic masculinity.
Anything else? Y'all want? Nate? Okay. All right, so that's it. But, it's one? Okay, I couldn't see it. Say again?
This is the person that she dropped off.
Hold on, let's get you a mic. We can't even really hear you. Let's get you a mic. Sister Pamela said it would have been on Hebrews going viral.
Yeah, look at another one of these Israelites, violent.
Right. And he had his fringes on, so he was one of those Israelite guys. Right. Their hate does not just extend for women, it goes to little girls too. They must be stopped.
My confession is, yesterday somebody asked me to take them somewhere. So I took them, you need a ride, I'll take you. I took them where they wanted to go. Okay, had me waiting for hours. And so
I'm already
I know, I'm mad for you.
I said, oh, wait, when are you coming down? And they was like, just wait.
What?
Just really rude, like. And so I said, oh my God. I was so angry. I'm serious. I was so angry, tears came to my eyes. Because a person that you treat nice, you don't expect to get that rough side of them. But they were really disrespectful to me and everything. And I went to pull off and leave them, right? I was like, okay, you gonna do it. But I heard the voice say, how did it get home? So
That's on them now.
I had to pray and calm down. But the lesson was for me today. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
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 I'm sitting here, man.
Sister Cynthia over there.
You gonna get your own ride.
All right, you better Uber.
Shoot, after a half hour. Man, what is you doing?
You got 2 minutes with me.
Yeah. All right, that's what I'm saying. About 5 minutes. I'm like,
38 seconds to come out.
Hey, listen, that's why you have to establish those rules in the beginning.
right.
You said you was gonna wait on me. You ain't say how long. Quab said, have patience.
On the heels of that testimony, Sister Sarah, it made me think back on when I was working as a teacher. And long story short, it went on for a whole semester, but it kept building up. There was a woman who worked with the school. I went to David Ellis Academy. I was an art teacher. Needed a ladder. The woman who worked as the custodian told me we don't have a ladder. Found out she'd given another teacher a ladder. This person didn't speak to me and a couple other people and couldn't understand why. So what I did was, because there were several other instances showing almost like a hatred. So I prayed about it and I actually wrote a note, and we each have our own little mailboxes for communication or whatever, the mail that comes in. So I wrote a note and I said on there, if I have done anything to offend you, please forgive me. So I go back to the box the next day thinking she's read it or whatever. She took the note and put it back in my box.
Wow.
She continued to treat me evilly, right? So this big test came up for me to my spiritual test, having to do with her. Person will grin, hug somebody else, look over the person's shoulder at you like, I hate you. You pass by and say hello. She just turned away. Go through the door behind the person, she lets the door go. This went on for almost a semester. So, I kept learning to pray about it. She had been taken away one time, the ambulance, because she had a breathing problem, asthma or something that got that bad. I asked the kids in the classroom, I said, I'm not asking all of you to do this as a charter school. I said, but those of you who know how to pray for her. We were looking out the window as they took her away. Big test, like I said, came. This was a tradition at the school. You pull someone's name for birthday. Some of you are familiar with that at jobs, right? So, lo and behold, this is his name I pulled. A friend of mine said, are you going to put it back in the box?
Yeah.
I said, no. I'm going to deal with it. So some people, they told other people whose names they pulled. I told no one. I knew she liked Mickey Mouse. I did it up. I've been an art teacher. I drew pictures of Mickey and put the banners and all this kind of stuff up. The rule was to take the stuff down after she spent all that day going around asking, who did this? This is so fabulous. I love my gifts. So at the end of the day, and I just watched. At the end of the day, I was to take the stuff down. Now she's a custodian, so she makes sure everybody does this, right? So I'm getting up on a ladder that supposedly didn't exist. And I'm taking the banners down. She all but cussed me out. who are you taking down my stuff? That's my birthday stuff. And I gotta go over. This is too much right here. So I turned around and looked at him. And I mean, throughout all this period, I'm talking about prayer. You can imagine it took a lot of prayer. And I turned around and I said, I'm the one that put it up. And she was standing next to another person. She looked at him and she said, you're lying. So I got down. I said, I'm taking it down. I'm shaking, right? And I said, I'm taking it down because you know that the rule is to take the stuff down at the end of the day. And she said, well, anyway, that's my stuff. So, just leave it up because I'm going to celebrate my birthday. And she's looking at the other person. So she had, I guess, picked up enough people anyway. They had given her time off several times because they kept having mercy on her. It was just certain people she did. But I'm saying all this to say, I don't know what happened other than Yah intervening just to encourage people. Just do as Yah tells you to do, because I went to work at the other building. There's 2 locations. When I came back, you would have thought I was her sister.
Wow.
The only thing I know that Yah did for her was she got married. Which gotta make me laugh.
Explain.
That makes sense.
Explain. No, you don't.
She was lonely. Lonely Betty.
In the flesh, you still want them to apologize.
Right.
Now you want to act nice, right? But I didn't do that. And I just said, yeah, I don't know other than you bless me with a husband. She's changed. But you took care of it. And had I reacted to her, people wouldn't be able to tell me from her as far as the wickedness.
Right.
I pray God for that and just to encourage other people.
No,
You may not
no,
be able to
it's
fix
all
the
the
person,
sense.
just
She
do
needed
what
the
God wants and he'll perform a miracle.
Hallelujah.
The 4th letter. That's the out.
All right. So, with all the questions out the way, I just want to say, I want to tell everybody that participated in the fish fry, everybody that bought a dinner, everybody that contributed a donation. It was a resounding success.
Hallelujah.
Everybody that sent money online, everybody that reposted the flyer, everybody that shared the video, everybody that had a hand in making it a success. Excellent job. At the end of the day, we were all smiling, and everybody that had worked their fingers to the bone, sitting there tired and running on fumes, felt fulfilled because everything was a success. And it was only because we all collectively came together and made an effort, and we made it a success. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. An excellent job. We still headed in the right direction. Congratulations. Good job. So another announcement, the gathering is coming up. We got a preliminary design for the shirt. We got all the venues already locked down. The registration is online. Probably next week, by next Shabbat, we roll out the shirt design and have a list. We bring out the list so we can know what size shirts we want to order. And we want to have all the shirts by the last week of July. We want to have them. The first week of August. We want to have them done. So we want to get the orders in. If you want shirts, because that's also a fundraiser, for us as well. So all that's coming up. Congratulations to you all for putting in a valiant effort and giving it your all. We all thank you. That me. You're gonna have to work for that meeting. Go ahead, Sister Wanda. Okay. Okay, so Sister Wanda is stating that the food that we have every week after Shabbat, if you a cook, if you want to bring a dish, make a dish, buy a dish, whatever, we need a little bit more participation so that we can all eat. The donations that we collect, just so that you guys know, it's not a secret. The donations that we collect every week, they don't go in anybody's pocket. They are for the building, the utilities, the like money that we collected. We have to use toward the gathering. You see, we got that big body fan back there, trying to keep it halfway cool in here. So that's what that money goes toward, and also it goes towards when there's ever a family in need, we pull from that for the family. So ain't nobody getting no money from any of that, just to let you know. So we definitely.
What about your cut that you take out every week?
Nope. That's totally separate. That's separate. Then also I want to thank everybody who watches the live stream, that be contributing, that send in donations. Yeah, so the hotel for the event. If you check out the Eventbrite page, if you check go on Eventbrite and look up Hebrew Town Gathering Detroit. Somebody in the alley. Okay. Hebrew Town Gathering Detroit, 2019. You'll see the details there. But the hotel is the Quality Inn in Livonia on Plymouth Road, near Middlebelt. That's where we're gonna be for the meet and greet, the game night, the Sabbath service, the performances. Right?
Saturday night.
Okay, the performances after Shabbat. Everything is gonna be done there. So other than the barbecue out to the park. So if you want to get a room, we encourage you to get a room there. There's room block under Chosen Seed. There's discounts available. The rooms are not very expensive, and they are I guess they're pretty nice. I've never stayed there, but I think it's okay. So I guess that's it. Oh, and then so if you have one, like I was saying, dish to contribute, or if you have a donation that you want to make specifically towards that, don't put it in the donation that comes around. Just talk to Sister Wanda directly and say, hey, I'd like to contribute $5 or $10 toward the meal next week or next, or whatever. But so see Sister Wanda directly for that. All right. Anything else? You got something? Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't forget, Big People Gathering next month, starting July 11th through the 14th. They're having a lot of activities going on. The movie, the Hebrews to Negroes. I'm encouraging everybody to go see that. I didn't know this, but our ops, 3 guys up here, is throughout the whole movie. They're, talking, and, I haven't seen it, but what I was told, they are in the movie, and they really want Detroit to participate. They have a lot of guests, from out of town, doing whatever on the 11th.
July
12th, I think we said.
That Friday.
Whatever that Friday is. Hold on, let me get the
Okay.
Hold on.
You're gonna get the date, but it's gonna be at Coble Hall, and that night is
July 12th.
July 12th. That night is the Make Some Noise night. All the Hebrews from all over the place, over the country, are going to gather at Coble Hall for a huge concert. A lot of singing. Yours truly, I'm been asked to be the MC that night, so I'm going to try to keep the mic, flip it up. And I'm going to incorporate Chosen Seed sound that night. So our praise team, we're going to do what we do. Travis is going to perform, his songs, whatnot. We're going to make it happen. We want everybody to come out and go online and register. I think it's $20 that night to get in Coble Hall. I think that's the only night I'm going.
He said, Ron said that any other brothers that was in when they came through and filmed that day, he said that we good, like we in for free that night.
The concert night?
Yeah, he said the only thing that we would have to pay for is the princess, because there's food and entertainment and all that stuff.
That could be disqualified. You turn around. you.
Okay.
That was me back.
All right, let's go ahead and pray out, y'all.
Give me joy like the river.
Honestly, Father Yah, we come before you, Father, asking that you would incline your ear into our prayers, Father, that you would hear our voice, Father, as we stand on one accord, Father, of one mind and of one heart, Father, lifting up our voices unto you, Father, asking, Father, that you would allow your Ruach, Father, to be ever present in our lives, Father. Allow your word to stay present in our minds, Father. Give us the diligence, Father, to meditate therein day and night, Father, so that when we are faced with these diverse temptations, Father, that we are able to hold ourselves accountable to apply your word, Father, as it is written. That we would be slow to speak and quick to hear, slow to wrath, Father. Father, we pray and we ask, Father, that we would learn what those soft answers are, Father, so that we can turn away wrath, Father. That we would be able to bridle the pride and the anger, Father, that would be built up in each and every one of us, Father. That we were able to listen, to reason together rather than to respond, Father. Father, we pray, Father, that you would just continue, Father, to work with us, Father, as we continue to press toward your mark, Father. We pray that we will use us as vessels, Father, for your word to flow through, Father. We pray for those people who listen, Father, every week, that they would be edified according to your word, Father. That you would continue to edify us, Father, and impart wisdom upon each and every one of us, Father, as you see fit. We pray for the health, Father, of our sister Sagari, who can't be here with us today because of health reasons. That you would continue to strengthen her, Father, in her body, in her mind, helping us all, Father, to continue to be strong in your word, Father. That we would be mindful, Father, of your word, Father, in all things acknowledging you. Father, all these things we pray and we give thanks. So be it. Abinu Shabbat Shemaim.
Abinu Shabbat Shemaim.
Ikadosh.
Ikadosh.
Sheikah.
Sheikah.
Tabo.
Tabo.
Malkukan.
Malkukan.
Yaseh.
Yaseh.
Ratsokan.
Ratsokan.
Ba'aretz.
Ba'aretz.
Kashir.
Kashir.
Nasha.
Nasha.
Bashemaim.
Bashemaim.
Tein Lanu.
Tein Lanu.
Hayom.
Hayom.
Liki.
Liki.
Hikanu.
Hikanu.
Usla.
Usla.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Eight.
Eight.
Ashmatenu.
Ashmatenu.
Kashir.
Kashir.
Suki.
Suki.
Anaknu.
Anaknu.
Lashir.
Lashir.
Ashmu.
Ashmu.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Wa'ar.
Wa'ar.
Tabinu.
Tabidu.
Lede.
Lede.
Masai.
Masai.
Ki.
Ki.
E. Hasalanu.
Hasalanu.
E.
E.
Kara.
Kara.
Ki.
Ki.
Laka.
Laka.
Amangaka.
Mamaka.
Wahagi Wara.
Mahagi Wara.
Wahati Pare.
Wahati Kore.
Lome.
Lome.
Mulami.
Mulami.
So be it.
So be it.
Hallelujah. Lights on.